Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. Yay! Today's service is about our place in the interdependent web of existence. I am Carolyn Allenby, your song leader for today. And our hymn of the month is an invitation to community in various ways. So when I ask you to rise in body or spirit, I'm also inviting you, the outside sections, to tilt a little towards the middle as if you're singing an invitation to the people in the middle. I've seen this at another congregation where there's a center aisle, which makes this a little simpler, but we can do it here, okay? So please rise in body and spirit for Come Sing a Song With Me, our monthly hymn, our hymn for this month.
Good morning. I'm Ezzell, and I have the privilege of being your worship associate this morning. My pronouns are he and him. Join me as we recite our covenant, and Bela lights our chalice. If you're watching remotely and have a chalice with you, please light it with us. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to share our strength in fellowship. Thus do we covenant. Please be seated.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. No matter where you come from, what you believe, how you identify, you are welcome here. Welcome as we explore the mysteries of being human together in community. We are so glad you're here. I'm the Reverend Christine Dance. My pronouns are she and her, and it is an honor a mystery, and a joy to serve as your minister. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix strives to be a spiritual community for our time, one that is theologically diverse, radically inclusive, and justice-centered. If you are new here, we are so glad you found us. Every Sunday is new and different here, but this one is about our Unitarian Universalist values, so it might be a good introduction for you. But please come back several times to really get to know us. If you are willing and able, if you are relatively new or just been here for a few times, would you be willing to wave and let us know who you are? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so glad you're here. There are a number of things going on in our community. You can find it all in our newsletter. We have a starting point for people who are interested in becoming members. That's new folks interested in going on the membership journey with us. That's Saturday, April 27th from 9 to 1 in the Johnson Room, and you can register on the website. This week, there was a ruling on abortion from the Arizona Supreme Court. We have some thoughts on it, and it demands action. We have action that we can take right here today. Your civic engagement team will be handing out information. You can also get important links on Compass on our webpage, or you can email at civicengagement@PhoenixUU. And we have petitions to sign right in the back there to get abortion on the ballot for a constitutional amendment change. Those are our values in action. We have an amazing altar guild committee. We just decided to say that just to let all of you have way back feelings about. And I want to introduce the most innovative, they're all innovative, but in this one we have Chalicey the betta fish. For interdependence, our flowers and our animals are together in this. But both of our altar guildians will be away for the next one, which is Sunday, May 5th. So if you have any interest, you don't need to be creative, you just need to put it together. They will give you step-by-step instructions and all the materials. But if you would like to help make this magic on May 5th, let us know. This week's service is on the proposed new values for our Unitarian Universalist Association, which are going to be voted on this June at our General Assembly. You have the opportunity to be a delegate for this congregation to vote on them and learn more about our denomination. The GA is all online this year, and it can be free or up to a small donation to be a business delegate. So if you would like to be a delegate for our congregation, you can find information on Compass or reach out to our board VP, Shelley. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I was wishing I could hold it. It's not going to happen. And finally, today is a picnic. Our UUCP Foundation, the wonderful people who take care of our endowment, are throwing us a picnic, and I believe it is a time when we most need it. It will be behind these buildings in a huge area. Some of you might not even know. At the end of the service, I will tell you where it is. So now let us draw deeper into the present moment. Let us move into our bodies, and let us sink into our worship.
Our opening words for today's service on interdependence are from Adrienne Marie Brown. Do you already know that your existence, who and how you are, is in of itself a contribution to the people and place around you? Not after or because of some particular thing, but just because of the miracle of your life and that of the people around you and the places. They all have made contributions as well. Do you understand that your quality of life and your survival are tied to the authentic and generous the connections are between you and the people and place you live with and in? I now invite anyone who would care to come forward for Together Time.
Take a minute to kind of wiggle and stretch a little bit. Feel the bubbles in your body. There might be some bubbles in your voice and in your mouth. Take a chance to make a little random noise. Blah, 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 blah. Good. And yes, there's also bubbles in our vase this morning with Chalicey, who looks a lot like a flame if you haven't come up to see. A blue flame in our chalice. Good morning, everyone. I'm Katie Resendez. I'm the Director of Children's Ministry here at UUC Phoenix. And I thought this morning I might tell you a story. How does that sound? And I thought I might tell you a story about you. One of my favorite characters. Okay. On the day you were born, something wonderful happened. You see, there were seeds resting in packets and gathered together in huge silos, waiting. They were waiting to be planted in the ground, tucked away safe and nurtured with water and delicious soil so that they could crack out of their shell and grow. Show me you growing out of a seed. Grow. So that they could become rice and wheat and beans to nourish you, so that you could grow muscles. I forgot what muscles are, Colin. Could you help me remember? Oh, okay. Help you grow. And those seeds waited, and they knew that they were going to be there for you. And the ocean, in all of her vastness, rocked and held the whales who hummed to one another, and gave a playground for the dolphins to jump and swim, and the giant shoals of fish to swim. And that ocean, as she breathed, her and the strand played a game in which she took sand away and the beach kept seashells. So that someday, when you went walking on the beach, you could dip down and find that perfect spiral tucked inside calcium. And so that someday, you could hop on a surfboard. Where's my surfer kid? I think he's up there. Hop on a surfboard and ride those waves that had traveled across time and space. And on the day you were born, there was a great migration of birds that flew from one place to the next so that they could find where they would be safe, where they could find love, where they could be fed, and where they would be warm. And they flocked together in thousands and thousands, and then there was penguins in Antarctica huddled together on the day you were born. What else? That's a very important question. I don't either. What else? That's a wonderful thing. On the day you were born, there was blood in your body pumping to every extremity, and your heart began to know how to be in this world and to feel the gravity outside of the womb. Just like the systems of people moving through the cities around you on the day you were born, and the cars moving from one place to another, the traffic signs making sure that everyone didn't collide into one another, those systems working perfectly. And on the day you were born, there were wind currents that moved across the entire planet that curled up and kept things warm and kept windmills blowing and wind turbines going and gave water and electricity and tracked that movement across the whole world. And on the day you were born, the glorious sun rose in the sky, and the clouds came and went as they needed to for your special day. And that sun nurtured the whole world so that you could grow up in it. Because on the day you were born, something very, very wonderful happened. Thank you.
Each week, we split our offering between this congregation and an organization that shares our values. For this month, April 2024, our Share the Plate partner is ASA Now. We would like to welcome Susan Mulhern from ASA Now to tell us more about this wonderful organization.
Thank you so much for inviting me to be here. I'm Susan Mulhern. My pronouns are she and her. And I'm so honored that to be chosen for the charity this week. And I hear that you guys have been collecting starting last week too. My friends and I co-founded ASA Now. We're all 3 foster and adoptive moms. I had adopted a sibling group of 5 children. And in our journey of caring for traumatized children, we just realized that there was so much more supports needed within our community. So we started ASA Now with the dream of one day opening a community center, which we were able to do 5 years ago. And at our community center, we have an immediate needs closet where when children first come into foster care, we're able to provide them with clothing and hygiene items, new backpacks, food boxes. And then we also have our monthly birthday celebrations for children in foster care, parent night outs, parent support groups, after-school tutoring, therapeutic programs for after school. And I'm probably forgetting something, but in our journey, since we founded ASA Now 8 years ago, we've been able to serve 58,000 children. And it's it's because of generous donors like you that we're able to make such an impact on children when they're in such high need. A couple weeks ago, we had a little bit of a devastating setback. We have storage pods on our property that store all of our clothing and our new products for children when they enter care. Somebody came in with a U-Haul, cut the locks off, and stole $30,000 worth of goods. And it's all product that we give to, children when they first come into care, children who have nothing. And it really broke our hearts that it's stealing from children who already have nothing. But we really do have a strong faith in God, and and our community has been wonderful in helping replenish those supplies. I do want to mention that we're a QFCO, which is a qualified foster care charitable organization, and you can get a dollar-for-dollar state tax credit for donating up to, it's $526 for singles and $1,051 for filers who are married filing jointly. And in Arizona, if you still haven't filed your 2023 taxes, you have up until tomorrow to donate and still count it for 2023. So, and if you've already filed, you can just count it for 2024. So, but thank you so much. It's really because of generous community members like you that we're able to serve. It takes a whole community to be able to run a community center, and so we're just so grateful and honored that you invited us, and so thank you so much.
It takes a village, right? So, for all that you give, we are so grateful. Ushers, thank you for your willing hands in helping us pass the plate.
It's an important practice in this community to make time to share pieces of our lives with one another. Sharing them together, we can amplify our joys and lessen our burdens. If you are on Zoom and would like to share a joy or sorrow, you can write a brief note in the chat. And on the table in the back, there are slips of paper, and I have a lot of joys today. As we open this sacred time to share in community, let us open our hearts to the joys and sorrows that we are about to share and those that are still in our hearts with a moment of contemplation. From Kathy Kopak. And when I say your name, there's Kathy. Kathy says, great joy. I got to spend last week at Notre Dame with my granddaughter who will graduate in May. Wonderful, precious time. from Paula Adkins, who's over here. Paula says, after a long wait, my book, Goodnight Fables for Golden Agers, is finally released and ready. Congratulations, Paula. For Sam Kirkland, who is also here in the choir, Sam says, Tuesday, April 9th, was my dad's 92nd birthday, and as hard a day as I anticipated it to be, it was filled with love, laughter, and sorrow, all the feels all at once. Yeah. We have a joy from the whole choir that says, we wish our director, Jessica Elder, a happy birthday weekend. Happy birthday, Jessica. And I'm going to read this one because that's my job. But this is from the UUCP board, and it says, a joy for Reverend Christine. And 5 stars. Is that a 5-star Google review? Okay. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. So I feel like this week's prayer meditation time feels more like a sit by the fireside, like conversation from the hearth. So I think I'm going to move right over here for it. This feels like a, let's sit down and talk about our week, shall we? Because this is where the time when we connect with our bodies and our spirits and our emotions. So let's just start with settling in our bodies. I don't know about you all, but my shoulders have a tendency to rise up around my ears. So I'm going to invite you to just bring them down as low as you can. I'm going to invite you to feel your toes and tensen them up and loosen them. See just how much tension you've been holding in your toes. Anyone else hold it in their hands? Tense up your hands and then just stretch that out. What about your jaws, your mouth? During the pandemic, I learned that when we're stressed, we take our tongue and we latch it onto the top of the roof of our mouth. So take your tongue. I know that sounds odd, but you're going to go, oh yeah, it is. Just stretch out and loosen the tension in your mouth. And then where else in your body are you feeling it? Stretch around your head, your hips, your arms, wherever it is. Last week, I talked of the holy and there are a lot of holy ands going on right now. We got news yesterday that Iran dropped drone strikes on Israel yesterday. And many of us are concerned about escalating war in that area. And Israel is also still attacking Gaza, not allowing food, housing, or medical aid in, which is killing people, too many people. We in Arizona are learning way too much about laws passed in 1864, aren't we? A rule in this archaic 1864 law that outlaws abortions. They said it could stand, putting Arizona in the national news for all the wrong reasons again, and the abortion access right, to put the right to make abortion legal in our Constitution, that this congregation has been such a big part of, is gaining even more steam. People are angry and signing petitions right and left. May we help that to continue to be so. In our community, there are great joys like all of those that we heard today, connecting with family here and in Notre Dame, and sharing connections that we have with one another. There are also big concerns in our hearts, and we still continue to care for Sue Kennedy, who is on hospice. A number of us are visiting her as often as we can. And for those of you who are new here this week, last week we had a really, really rough week. We announced that there was misconduct that had happened with an adult in our congregation with a youth. A notification that has rocked our community and that we are on the journey to heal from. In the last 10 days, we are still struggling to make sense of it all, and we have come together in some extraordinary ways, together to process, to share, and to heal. There have been way too many stories shared by some of you of past abuse that you've experienced, that this has triggered. Not from here, but painful nonetheless. And many of you have said that the transparency and openness with which we are handling this is helping to heal those wounds from when you weren't believed or when things were held secret. Some of you have been concerned with people in all parts of this situation, of naming them, caring for them, and some of you are deeply touched with the openness of this naming. In the past 10 days, we have had time to gather. In the past 10 days, I have probably talked individually with 40 of you. This last week, we had our UU Trauma Ministries team here to help us. 17 of you met with them online last Sunday. About 25 of you gathered for dinner and listening circles last Tuesday. On Wednesday, 8 of you met with them individually, and 18 of you met with them in groups. We are hoping that the work that we all did together will help us move from shock to processing to healing. Some of you were affected deeply by this, and there were a lot of big feelings. I want you to know that I am still right here with you in it. I am here to help you process any of those feelings as they move forward, as they take shape, as we move from shock to meaning-making together. Or if we just need to sit in it. And I want to remind you that you don't need to carry everything on your shoulders. Last week, there were a few holy moments that happened. There was a youth who helped reshape how we think about these events in one of the holiest conversations I have ever witnessed. And last week, I got to sing to you all a song that had been in my head for too long, couldn't get out. And it felt really good to me. A couple of you have asked me to record it so you could have it because it provided you comfort. So are you okay if I sing to you again this week? So that's very sweet. So loosen your bodies, because this is about letting go in your muscles and bones, not carrying it all. Loosening, comfort, taking care of yourself. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Join me in a moment of silence as you let that loosen from your muscles and bones and let it drift away. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so.
Good morning. My name is Jessica Elder, and my pronouns are she, her. The choir will be singing Famine Song, which is by the vocal quartet Vida, arranged by Matthew Culleton. This piece was inspired by the stories of Sudanese basket weavers and expresses the pain and hope experienced by those in the famine of the 1980s. In the middle of hardship, a new sense of creativity emerged when women began weaving baskets as a means of survival. Our soloists are Susan Senft, Susan Morris, and Peter Jackson. And of course, we are joined by our wonderful collaborative pianist, Christine Kine.
This year, we are exploring the new values that are being proposed by the Unitarian Universalist Association. These new values would replace our 8 principles that have been around since 1985 and are supposed to be changed every 15 years. Each month, we're exploring a different principle. Each principle has a one-word handle, a one-sentence explanation, and then the part that I love the most, a call to action. We have already explored love at the center, pluralism, equity, justice, and generosity. For April, we're exploring interdependence. Let's see a little bit of what this value is. Interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence. With reverence for the great web of life and with humility, we acknowledge our place in it. We covenant to protect Earth and all beings from exploitation. We will create and nurture sustainable relationships of care and respect, mutuality and justice, and we will work to repair harm and damaged relationships. Will you read that out with me? From the Word. Interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence. With reverence for the great web of life and with humility, we acknowledge our place. We covenant to protect Earth and all beings from exploitation. We will create and nurture sustainable relationships of care and respect, mutuality and justice. We will work to repair harm and damaged relationships. Whew, what a perfect value to reflect on in this week of Earth Week. Earth Day is this week. Reverend Patrice is going to be preaching on Earth Day next week. You're not going to want to miss it. But it is also fortuitous that we're exploring it this week with everything that is happening in our congregation. When we have experienced harm, this principle asks us to look at how we are all connected and to address that harm. It asks us to nurture our relationships of care and respect, of mutuality and justice. It asks us to see our place in the circle of connectedness and have reverence not just for all other humans, but the creatures that exist in the nature that we are surrounded by. For this value that is so rich and so diverse and has so much room to explore, we're having several of our worship associates reflect on it today, using a quote around interdependence that inspires them. After another lovely treat from our choir, we will hear from Mary McManus, Carrie Lifshitz, Amy McClendon, and Gary Ezzell.
More Waters Rising was originally written by Sarah Lynch Thomason in March 2016 when HB 2 was passed in North Carolina. This House bill stated that folks could only use the restroom that matched the gender they were assigned at birth. Thomason says, "For me, this song is about seeing what's coming on the horizon, harder times that are inevitable and unavoidable. But the answer to the fear of what's coming is resiliency and claiming a strength within ourselves that has been there all along." Aspects of this song are inspired from elements of African American civil rights and protest songs. This song is meant to be sung in groups. Please share it. Use it at protests. Use it in church. Use it in meetings. Add new verses. Spread it around. The version that this choir will sing is arranged by Sonder Choi, who is the director of music at Unitarian Universalist Community Church of Santa Monica.
Waters rising beside Hi, everyone. Each experience of love nudges us towards the story of interbeing because it only fits the story and defies the logic of separation. Charles Eisenstein. A few months ago, I sat with my friend in a coffee shop to chat and catch up. And it may have been one of the most important conversations I've had so far in my life. For context, I've known this friend since the first week of my freshman year of college. My freshman year friend group was huge, and our lives were fully enmeshed with each other, whether that was a good thing or not. We spent every evening together doing homework in someone's dorm room, hanging out, getting to know each other. The question was not if we would see each other that night, but whose place we would go to. It still amazes me how much time I spent with people I barely knew because we were all thrown into the same dorm. And I'm still friends with a lot of them to this day. As time went on, though, and we moved into different buildings, those evenings spent together became fewer and farther between. We developed our own interests, found new circles, and started caring more about our grades. We didn't see each other nearly as much as we used to. And to be honest, it made me really sad. I missed the sense of community I felt from simply being in each other's company every day. But nobody else was saying anything about it, so I thought that maybe nobody felt the same way. But then I found myself in a coffee shop with my friend, and he was telling me about how he was having a really hard time adjusting to this school year. He told me he was feeling really disconnected from everyone, and it felt like everyone else just knew what they were doing and he didn't. We fawned over the days of freshman year where we all had so much time to spend with each other. And I told him I would love to go back to those days where we would simply do what we needed to do in each other's presence. So he told me, "Do you just want to do it now?" And we went back to my apartment and did our homework together. And we actually managed to get some other friends to stop by too. That's when I realized that community did not have to be complicated, didn't need to be organized. People want to be connected. People that love you and care about you want to be in your web. Sure, people are often really busy, but I found more community in the impromptu homework at my kitchen table than I did in any elaborate plan I concocted to hang out with friends. Even an imperfect plan together is better than separation.
Quote that spoke to me was, "Each friend represents a world in us, a world possibly not born until they arrive, and it is only by this meeting that a new world is born." I remember being in kindergarten and being painfully shy. I didn't like speaking up in class, and when I did have to speak, it was really quiet and really timid. Then I met Stacy, who was also pretty shy, but she found me. Together, we learned it was okay to talk to each other. And if it was okay to talk to each other, maybe it was okay to talk to others. When I was in 5th grade, I had grown faster than many of my peers, so I was usually the tallest in the class. I would slouch and try and make myself seem smaller so I wouldn't get made fun of. Then I met Heather, who was also tall, but she was proud of it. I learned that I shouldn't try to change who I was, and I started walking taller when I was with Heather. And soon, I was able to walk taller on my own. In high school, I met Danielle, who I'm still great friends with today. In fact, she's my son Colin's godmother. She showed me that it was okay to live outside the box. She helped me realize that I didn't have to fit into a specific mold of what others thought I should be. In college, I met my husband, Johnny, who showed me this love I had for science wasn't strange. And he helped me embrace the love and awoke this confidence in myself that I actually didn't have at the time, and this confidence to push farther and go to the next level. In graduate school, my fellow graduate student, lab mate, and wonderful friend, Artie, was the one who awoke the perseverance in me. She inspired me to keep going, even at times when experiments weren't working the way I hoped they would, or maybe when our boss wasn't seeing things our way. After Johnny and I got married, we would think about having children, but I wasn't sure that I was mom material. I was too much of a nerd and too into science. Then I met Anna and her husband, Jeff, who had 2 kids, and she was pregnant with their third. Anna is an MD PhD, working full-time, and Jeff was also finishing up his MD PhD. And they're amazing parents, and they have amazing kids. And I thought, maybe I can be a mom. And I credit her for waking that mom in me. I'm still very close with Danielle and Artie, and of course still madly in love with my husband, Johnny. I don't talk with Stacy and Heather and Anna and Jeff anymore. I mean, we might be Facebook friends, but I don't really consider them friends in my circle. And that's okay. They woke something in me that I didn't know I had or was capable of. I always tell my kids, it's okay if you're not friends with someone anymore. You're always growing and changing, and sometimes you grow apart. You should try to remember the good that came from that relationship. Sometimes you forget. Sometimes those worlds need to be reborn. For example, Katie has reminded me to use my voice. Jan has reminded me to live passionately and outside the box. Bunny has reminded me to stand tall. So many of you, Karen, Rev Christine, Katie, Len, Bunny, Terry, Susan, Kathleen, Donna, Shelley, Geeta, and so many others of you have reminded me that you can be a great mom and be successful in other aspects of your life. I wouldn't be the person I am today without the friendships I have made and all the worlds in me that have been born from those friendships. My challenge to you is sometime today, try to think about a friendship you have or had that awoke a world in you, and take a moment to appreciate that friend and world. It's truly amazing to think about.
Good morning, UUCP. I'm so glad to be here with all of you by video this morning. This quote and line of question really got me thinking, and I hope it will do the same for you. Douglas Steer, a Quaker teacher, says that the ancient question, who am I, inevitably leads to a deeper one, whose am I? Because there is no identity outside of relationship. You can't be a person by yourself. To ask, whose am I, is to extend the question far beyond our little self-absorbed self and wonder, who needs you? Who loves you? To whom are you accountable? To whom do you answer? Whose life is altered by your choices? With whose life, whose lives, is your own all bound up inextricably in obvious or invisible ways? And that's from Victoria Stafford. A few years ago, after some big life transitions, I went through a period of trying to figure out who I was on my own, not in relationship to anyone else. At the time, I felt it was really important to figure out who I was at my core, outside of my roles of partner, daughter, friend, sister, coworker. It seemed like an important step for reclaiming my independence. And I don't think I realized at the time that I was setting myself up for kind of an impossible task. Yes, I emerged from that time feeling more grounded in myself and able to tune into that inner voice who knows who she is and what she wants. But I didn't do that on my own. I did it with my friends and family reflecting it back to me, reflecting me back to me. I encourage each of you to think about whose you are. Who is inextricably bound up with you and altered by your choices? Here's my short list. I'm yours. I'm so deeply impacted by the connections I have to UUCP and this community, and I strive to pour all of the love I receive from this community back into it. I certainly feel accountable to and deeply committed to you as a member of our incredible board of trustees, and I answer to our shared values. I'm my parents' daughter. Well into my 30s, I still want to make them proud. I'm Tom's partner and a bonus mom to Lou. They are my family, and my choices have very real impacts on all of our lives. I'm the Earth's, and I'm a global citizen. My actions or inactions have impacts here in Phoenix, in the US, in Gaza, in the Arctic. When I make the choice to look away from others' pain or our planet's pain and live in the comfort of my privilege, my inactions have very real impacts. And I'm accountable to me, to my body and all its intricate systems working together to keep me here and breathing, to my wants and my needs and desires and my values. Whose are you? Thank you.
The concept of interdependence led me to think about something that all life depends on, which is water. We in the desert are particularly sensitive to the need for water, and likely to become more so as the earth warms. But the need is universal. Fortunately for us, our blue boat home is a wet one. Water cycles continuously and is beautiful and life-sustaining in all its forms. We know and appreciate it in its simplest form, H2O, as liquid, solid, and vapor. And we know and appreciate it as a fundamental constituent of all life, from microbes to maples to manatees. Metabolism does not work without it. I'm going to show some images that I've taken over the years. And as they go by, look for how water appears, explicitly or implicitly. And as they play, I will read some wise words. There we go. From Wendell Berry. When despair grows in me, and I wake in the middle of the night, at the least sound in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the presence of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting for their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. From Diane Ackerman. In the name of the daybreak and the eyelids of morning, and the wayfaring moon and the night when it departs, I swear I will not dishonor my soul with hatred, but offer myself humbly as a guardian of nature, as a healer of misery, as a messenger of wonder, as an architect of peace. In the name of the plants bursting with seed and the crowning seasons of the firefly and the apple, I will honor all life, wherever and in whatever form it may dwell, on earth my home, and in the mansions of the stars. And from Mary Oliver. Truly, we live with mysteries too marvelous to be understood. how grass can be nourishing in the mouths of the lambs, how rivers and stones are forever in allegiance with gravity, while we ourselves dream of rising. Let me keep my distance always from those who think they have the answers. Let me keep company always with those who say, look, and laugh with astonishment and bow their heads.
Thank you to each of our speakers. This is another one of the Sundays that I am so glad that these services recorded. So there's a chance to go back and hear and see these images again. Our final hymn for today is not one that we are as familiar with. So Christine is going to play it through. Then the choir will sing the first verse. Then we'll all sing the first verse as it's on the screen there. And enjoy the music, but also enjoy the words. Okay.
Beautiful. Stay standing, please. As we close our service, what a perfect day we have for you to reach out and meet new people or reconnect with folks you haven't seen in a while. Our exploration hour, if there are activities you're participating in, start at noon and will be on the screen following the service. But right now, there is a picnic. A picnic. Thank you so much to our UUCP Foundation for throwing a picnic where we can gather in community. You follow the hallway. You go out through the sanctuary, follow the hallway. There's going to be a door right in front of you, just past the bathrooms. Go outside there. Some of you may not even know that there is whole wide space, new green sod out there, big areas and lots of food. Enjoy the picnic. Everyone is welcome. Now, may you know how deeply interconnected you are with us here, with the wider community, and with the whole earth. May you feel a sense of accountability to that connection. And may the love at the center of it all hold you deeply. Go in peace, go in love.